If you've ever considered the size and scope of the big, inky black void above and around us, then you're probably already aware that it must be full of insane scientific anomalies that are beyond most human comprehension. Certainly, there are infinite crazy phenomena out there happening all the time, and some of them would make you question your own opinions of reality. There are definitely more than 10 of these amazing theories, and that's why here are 10 more universe theories that will keep you up at night. It's not only Elon Musk who wants to colonize Mars. It's been a concept many have thought of over the last few decades, and as technology increases its power, this is a thing that only becomes more possible. One of the reasons that we look to Mars over all other planets, besides distance, is because all of the probes and rovers that we have sent to the red planet have returned data that suggests the planet might have once been very similar to our own. It definitely helped that a few years ago, water was discovered on the surface of the planet. But sadly, we didn't find any signs of life, and that remains true to date. Of course, it's worth remembering that we have only scavenged a tiny portion of the total circumference of the big red one, so there could still be a lot to discover. The more we discover about the universe, the more mysteries we uncover. One of these is literally nothing. Simply nothing. It's not a black hole, but it is out there, as a great void in the vastness of space without any gravity. There is nothing in it, no matter. No dark matter, and yet it has an estimated diameter of over 1.3 billion light years. That's a truly astronomical number, if you'll pardon the pun. Searching for distant planets in the void of space is what astronomers do. There are a number of reasons for this, such as looking for similar planets to Earth, searching for signs of life, or just trying to understand this universe a little more. One of the techniques that can be used to find a new planet is when a star appears to dim in brightness due to a planet passing in front of it. And while that might sound a little unpredictable, it has allowed us to locate over 4,000 planets outside our own solar system. However, astronomers were totally confused by a star in the constellation Cygnus when they attempted to look at the number of planets it could host. The star, known as KIC 8462852, but also as Tabby star, is 1,500 light-years away from us, and astronomers noted that about 20% of its light is being blocked. It's amazing because even a Jupiter-sized planet would only be able to block out about 1% of its light, and if Jupiter were any bigger, it would be a brown dwarf rather than a planet. An explanation for this phenomenon is a Dyson swarm, a hypothetical structure that could be used to extrapolate a star's energy and harness it. Of course, such a device would have to be placed there by a super intelligent race with better tech than we have on this planet. Yes, it's more than just an edgy name. Number 7 on this list sees us talking about the outer reaches of our solar system. Besides Pluto and Eris, there are a lot of scientists speculating that Neptune may not in fact be the furthest planet in our solar system. Planet X, also known as Nibiru or Planet 9, is suspected to exist as part of our solar system, orbiting the same sun as us, but in a place where it is basically invisible to human scientists and their technology right now. In 2016, Mark Brown of the California Institute of Technology speculated that a planet over 10 times the size of Earth could be slinking around in the outer reaches of the solar system. NASA somewhat corroborated this, but added that the planet would be about 20 times further away from the Sun than Neptune is, which is an amount so astronomical that if you drew the solar system on a piece of paper, Earth would be the size of a pinhead on the paper, and Planet 9 would be on the Moon, or thereabouts. This means that Planet X would require between 10,000 and 20,000 years to make a complete orbit of the Sun. Of course, that's just a theory, a space theory. A gamma-ray burst is the brightest thing in the universe, as far as we know at the moment anyway. This phenomenal burst releases more energy in just a few seconds than our Sun or any other like it would be able to in its entire life, which we already know is exceptionally long. Human scientists have witnessed these kinds of bursts at various sections of space, but there is no reason known yet as to why, though some have speculated that they may be other galaxies. Thankfully not here though, as something with that much power would immolate our entire planet before anyone even got to look at it. Everyone knows at this point that the universe is expanding, but the Milky Way, our home galaxy, is in fact off course, as opposed to where scientists believe it should be. The conclusion that scientists have come to is that something about 200 million light-years away is responsible for this. and there aren't many things that could create enough attraction to pull an entire galaxy towards it. If all this sounds terrifying, then consider that we are being pulled towards it at 1.4 million miles an hour, which is an exceptionally slow rate of movement, so we're probably not about to be sucked into a supermassive black hole. To understand the size of the universe, imagine all the grains of sand on Earth, then multiply it a few times. Now, consider that all of the conventional matter we know exist, like planets, pulsars, stars, those sorts of things, only make up about 5% of the total energy and contents of this universe. The worst bit about this is that we actually have no idea at all what makes up the other 95%. This is what we call dark matter, something we know virtually nothing about, except that it has a gravitational pull on ordinary matter. So far, no one has been able to quite define what dark matter is, nor dark energy. Speaking of which, dark energy is one of the most interesting mysteries that we have so far discovered about the universe. Like dark matter, we really have no idea what dark energy is, but we know that it is connected to and somewhat responsible for the expansion of the universe. It apparently makes up about 68.3% of the universe's total energy, and thanks to our ability to use cosmic microwave background radiation to establish the reality of the Big Bang, we at least know it exists. This is the phenomenon by which two particles in completely different areas of space can be connected and mirror each other. Unfortunately, it's a pretty frustrating phenomenon because it annihilates the laws of physics by its mere existence. The two entangled particles would have to be sending signals to each other at a speed greater than the speed of light for this mystery to be possible. Interestingly, the fact that we don't understand quantum entanglement doesn't mean we can't use it, as it could in future become the foundation of the next generation of computing and communications. Of course, no mystery is greater than the concept of time travel. Thankfully, wormholes are a thing that could be used for such an endeavor, behaving as though a shortcut through space, bending time and space toward each other to create connections between distant regions of space. It's a shame that they're still hypothetical. Einstein first speculated about the existence of wormholes in his theory of general relativity because he considered the fourth dimension after length, width, and depth to be time. This means that combined, they make up what we call space-time, and therefore, a wormhole would have to be an anomaly that is able to bend, warp, and connect areas of space-time together like a tunnel. Unfortunately, even if such a thing really did exist, it would be pretty impossible to travel through due to the inherent instability of the thing. If a spaceship tried to enter a wormhole, it would likely collapse and become a black hole, sucking everything into its gaping maw before crushing it down to a singularity, and no one wants that. So that's the list. What do you think about it? Which one of these nightmares gives you the creeps the most? While on your way to the comment section, make a detour and smack that like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and watch these other videos from Space Infinity.